1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, dear hearts. This is Marsha Jane Orr from AWayOfLove.com. And today I'd like to share with you this aspect of forgiveness, which is an understated aspect of getting free. If I'm holding something about someone else, I think that, I'm self-righteous and correct. But who am I hurting? Not them. I'm really hurting myself. I'm holding myself back from the freedom I could have through my forgiveness in allowing myself to be free of that judgment and free of that resentment. Often we can experience in our lives an infidelity. And this can be infidelity in our marriages, infidelity in our friendships, infidelity in how we're being in the world, in our work, ways in which we're untrue to ourselves. Now, if we experience infidelity of another, we have the tendency to blame them for that, to hold ourselves right and to hold them wrong. But I would like to bring this forward in a way of love, to get a lesson from infidelity that might indeed guide us more deeply to access how in that which got projected out in our lives and is a horrible, painful thing, I understand. Yet, if we look at it with a way of love and we start to ask ourselves, what is the lesson this is giving me? And how have I shown up with infidelity toward myself? Then you are in a realm of not victim or powerlessness or having been done wrong, but one of very, very deep compassion and forgiveness to oneself about ways in which you have been in infidelity with yourself. Now, whether this was a complete surprise to you as it was manifested in your external world, or whether you saw signs coming up for years and years, which many of us in hindsight see were present, but that we refuse to acknowledge or think they were so far out of our sphere of awareness or out of our sphere of what we think might have been. It doesn't matter how you get the infidelity. I'm sorry that you experience it. And if you do experience it, it is one of the most profound opportunities for growth and development you may ever have. So I ask you to go deeply within, put your hand on your heart, and ask that smallest aspect within yourself. There, that one who is crying most deeply could be little Billy or little Mary. Ask that little aspect within you. What is it that's there that you missed in terms of having fidelity towards yourself? And listen. It's so hard to hear how you have been out of trust with yourself, how you have denied yourself what is your own truth, and how you have allowed yourself to stray from your own deeper principles of how you imagined your life to be or what you were choosing in your life. And whether you can access anything or not, which if you do, actually, whichever way, it's very difficult. And you may wish to have a coach working with you or someone who can guide you in the meditative process to get a hold of all aspects of parts within you that you can gestalt with to get the true picture of what is happening that has caused this upset in your life and what it is here to teach you and where is it that you are being called so deeply in such a profound and hurtful way to love yourself and to have compassion for yourself and to grow in deeper trusting for yourself. Forgiveness, then, is a release of these judgments, a release of the infidelity to self, and a reframing of the beliefs that led you there. Many times we have expectations that have been violated, and we grow in judgments and resentments. Forgiveness is often a call to let go of some of these expectations that we had about another, that maybe we had the scales on our eyes about, that we were unable to see clearly, that we didn't understand, that we were ignorant about. And now we know. I'm sorry there's been pain and hurt involved in it. I wish it was different for each of us. When it shows up, though, I ask us to go within, gestalt gently with those aspects of self that are weeping within, and to hold those aspects, to rock them as babies within, as we might rock small children, to comfort them as you might comfort a friend who is crying, to reassure that aspect, to set it straight. Sometimes we think that forgiveness is, oh my goodness, this happened to me, okay, I forgive it and I put it under the rug. Absolutely not. You have a battle with that aspect. Call it up on the inner. Ask the higher self of the other aspect, the person that may have violated you on the outer. Ask for that higher self to come through, that you may actually have a gestalt with them on the inner, and set them straight and know uncertain words about what you feel. Let go of all your judgments there. Let out everything. Swear and kick and scream. Hit the pillow. Do whatever you want in a gestalt with your higher self to that higher self that you and the other have given permission to have. And let it out, screaming, kicking, swearing, doing whatever you need to do to get that out of your body. No, forgiveness isn't sweeping it under the rug. Forgiveness is bringing it out and allowing yourself to release the cellular imprint that hurt has had upon you, so that you can be free and that you can access the higher sense of love and compassion and truth and integrity that you are. Allow these parts of self to have their voice. Learn from them what they have to guide you in learning. Hold yourself in the deepest truth and compassion and loving. And ask for clarity about next steps. And ask that we can release our judgments, reframe what's actually true, and simply take the next step toward what it is that you are seeking instead. Forgiveness is, I would say, along with a sense of gratitude for whatever is. Oh, it's hard to have gratitude when you're crying. Yet, I would say that when we can free ourselves to access these two very vital conditions of self, deep abiding of self with integrity to our word and the truth that is true for us, all parts of self, not just that all good duty, goody person, but the dictator within and the rebel within and the saboteur within, all these aspects of self. They all have a core positive intention. And if we can come to terms with what that is, we can reframe them, we can redirect their actions, and we can set ourselves again on a clear course of action that is true to our integrity, that allows us to forgive and love ourselves and have compassion for ourselves and also the other if we feel like we've been wronged, or perhaps in many cases when we are the ones that have wronged others. These are not easy pathways. I recommend that you work with a coach, that you work with somebody who can guide you. Very, very tricky sense of self, how we can undermine ourselves. Because when we're in the midst of ourselves and our upset, often we don't see what our higher self is or how we're being guided. And we can hang on to things that actually aren't that supportive to ourselves or to others. But forgiveness will set you free. Not some kind of false thing. Not some kind of denial of what's so or what happened. Human beings are very funny aspects. And we are here to learn. And this is a sure way to gain access to our higher selves, that we can be more freely in a way of love, not as doormats or as abusers, but as people who are standing in with integrity to what we have done ourselves to cause wrong in the world and what others have done to us. We forgive it. We compassionately stand for our truth and loving for self and others. And we walk in a way of love. Thank you for joining us here at AWayOfLove.com. Download our book, Life After Life, Another Glimpse of Grief, Till Death Never Do Us Part. I guess having that understanding of life means we gotta clean it up. We're gonna have to clean it up sometime. And it might as well be now. Thank you for joining us at AWayOfLove.com. I look forward to your comments, to your participation in our upcoming workshops and our Rave Way of Love in February 14th, 2013 here at Perth. You're precious to me. Thank you for joining.